Do founders need a personal brand? This has become a controversial topic, and I think that they absolutely do. I will die on this hill. Founders need a brand because people trust people, not companies. And when there is a person who is at the head of a company, it helps you to build trust with customers so much faster. If you're a big, huge brand like Nike or Google, you can afford to not have one single person as your founder personal brand. That's absolutely fine. But even when they started, they had founders with personal brands. Now in the age of AI, more and more content is being created every day. So it's no longer enough to have a really good content writer. It's no longer enough to have excellent graphics. You need to have a human touch. You need a personal brand. You work really hard, you have great products, excellent marketing, and your message is still not connecting, and you find that you're not getting the opportunities you want as a founder, maybe you need a personal brand. I've been there too, and that's why I believe in having a personal brand. When I built my personal brand, things changed for me. I got invited onto stages that I'd only dreamed of before. I got opportunities that I didn't think someone like me could get. And it helped me to be in a place where I was able to help thousands and thousands of people to start to build work-life harmony, to optimize their time, and to do so many other things that are important for founders, leaders, and creatives. So stick around. By the end of this video, you will have clarity on how you can build your personal brand. And I've already covered branding in one of my earlier videos, which I'll link to in the description box below. But at its core, your brand is the impression that you leave on others. And whether you like it or not, you have a personal brand. Your personal brand exists in people's head, just like any other brand. It's the story that people tell about you. And you have a choice. Do you want to shape the story people tell about you? Or do you want to leave it to chance? Do you want to leave it to the odd interaction that you haven't been intentional about? I think you probably don't. So let's talk about what goes into a personal brand. Founders with personal brands are way easier to trust, and that goes for customers, for partners, for investors. When you're clear on your lived experience and you communicate it well, it's much easier for people to understand you and have clarity on you, and that clarity leads to trust. So when you're clear about your story, and I'm not talking about oversharing, I'm talking about being intentional with the parts of your story and lived experience that you want to share and clear about the impact you want to have, when you get that right, it can open doorways for you. Your brand starts with your lived experience. This is where your credibility comes from. When you're thinking about what your personal brand is, it has to be authentic to who you actually are, things you've been through, things that maybe no one else can understand. Great time for a phone call. All experts tend to disagree on what a brand actually is and what a personal brand actually is. But generally, people agree that a brand has these four key things. A brand makes particular promises. It has values. It has a certain personality or voice, and it will demonstrate particular behaviors consistently over time. So let's dive into each of those four things. We'll start with promises. So the promises a brand makes are quite obvious when you really dig deep and think about it. If you're buying from your favorite clothing brand, it might be because they promise their clothes are not made in a sweatshop. They might be a sustainable and ethical brand. You might go to your favorite restaurant because you know the food is always going to be delicious and they use farm fresh ingredients. Those are examples of brand promises. And for an individual, the same thing applies. For instance, my brand promises to help founders, leaders, and creatives to build lives and brands that work in harmony with who they really are and help them to fulfill their potential and open the doors that they want to walk through. What are your brand promises? All brands have particular values too. So if you are really into a brand because you know that not only do they make delicious ice cream, but they also care about huge political change, and you know that you can sign petitions that they put forward and they're going to do something about it, I don't even need to name the brand. You know who I'm talking about because they are so clear on their values, and everyone saw what happened when they were bought out and started to deviate from those values. For me, my values are excellence, empathy, and equity. I do so much work because I think that everyone should have equal opportunities, equal access to things, and I care about people being able to fulfill their potential. I think that talent is really evenly distributed, but resources aren't. And that's part of why I make these videos, to try to break down barriers to success for founders. And I care about doing them well. So I hope that you see excellence here. I also care about doing them with a human touch, with compassion, and with a lot of empathy. That is something that should reflect in my personal brand. And it's something that I've been told reflects in my personal brand. The next thing is your personality or voice. I find this to be easier for company brands than personal brands, because you might not necessarily want to show all of your personality to everyone. I recently did an exercise where I had some friends describe me in 3 words, and some of the feedback that I got made me laugh, because it wasn't necessarily reflected in my personal brand, but it made a lot of sense in terms of the nature of our relationships and how I show up there. The brand that I intentionally put out in the world is authentic, is true to my personality and my voice, but it's only a facet of it. So when I put myself out there, I want to show a huge amount of competence, of warmth, and flashes of energy. So my voice is very grounded, but energetic when I need to be. My voice is authoritative and expert because I read a lot of books, I do a lot of research, I have a huge amount of work experience and lived experience, and I don't really open my mouth to talk about things unless I really understand them. So those are the elements of my voice. Personal brands and all brands also exhibit a number of behaviors. So one of my favorite fitness brands run free workout classes, and that is a behavior. You can regularly go to their flagship store in central London and have an expert guide you through a workout, and they will be wearing the Gymshark clothing. Even before I said Gymshark, many of you will know who it is because they do so much in the fitness space. And it's the same when it comes to personal brands. So when it comes to me, my behaviors include simplifying complex topics without dumbing them down. It's also about teaching what I've learned through lived experience and balancing ambition and compassion. Those are the behaviors that people have come to expect from me. And when you figure out those 4 elements of your personal brand, it will lead to particular perceptions and expectations. So I get a lot of feedback from people when I'm on stage, in response to the content I put out, in response to the resources I write to, and I consistently hear the same kinds of things. So I know what people's perceptions of me are. People tell me that they perceive me as an expert in my field who knows her stuff, someone who balances leadership with empathy and humanity, and someone who really truly embodies work-life harmony instead of just talking about it. There's also a set of expectations that my personal brand creates. People expect me to provide practical tips and tools and grounded guidance that they can act on immediately and see results. And I love that that is the expectation people have of my content. When you're clear on those 4 things and you've mapped out your promises, voice, values, and behaviors, write them down. Write them down and keep them somewhere that you can regularly look at them, whether that's on your desk or on a post-it note by your mirror, just for a little while you get clear on the brand that you want to present to the world. That way, whenever you show up, you'll be showing up the way that you want to, and you'll be creating a very powerful personal brand. If you want to go deeper on this, I've created a personal branding audio course, which covers your message, your voice, and your impact. And it's available now for subscribers of the Renaissance Club. So if you have a free subscription, please do upgrade so you can use that course. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then the link is in the description box below. Come back next time and we'll be taking a slightly different path. We're going to pause on covering business basics, and we're going to go through some tools and skills that all founders need, kicking off with time optimization. See you then. Please do like and subscribe. And if you found this useful, share it with a friend who would find it beneficial.